Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, Muggles and Yamaros of all ages. My name is Drinks Glue. Tonight we have a very special Final Fantasy VI Worlds Collide showcase for you on RPG Limit Break. But first, allow me to introduce the commentary team for tonight. We have the one and only Joker Mage, who is joined by Physics Shebang. Gentlemen, how are y'all doing tonight?
Wait, is there more than one physics shebang? Because I mean, you said one and only for me, but is should I be worried that I'm going to have to deal with twins?
I hear there's a couple out there trying to steal my thunder, but I've been squashing them as I find them. So if you see any, let me know. I got a hit squad ready. Well, welcome everybody. I am Physics Shebang, looking forward to being able to demonstrate or commentate over this demonstration of Final Fantasy VI Worlds Collide. Joker Mage, how's everything going for you today?
It's going great. I had some issues earlier today with not being able to get into my house due to some toxic fumes, but those have cleared out. So I am perfectly all right, perfectly healthy, and ready to commentate on this really interesting flag set. Those of you who are familiar with Worlds Collide are probably used to our Ultras League flag set. This has some similarities, but we put in a bunch of extra stuff to make it a bit more fun and a bit more interesting. Not that UL isn't fun. A lot of people do have fun with it. This has some bells and whistles that are going to be making bell noises and whistle sounds.
Yes, they absolutely are. I can go over a few of those. Normally, when it comes to our Ultros League flag set, you need to have 6 characters, 9 espers to unlock the final dungeon, and then also you need to have 9 characters or 12 espers in order to get the shortcut. But in terms of this flag set, you need 6 characters, 9 espers, and 4 dragons. Also, to get the shortcut, you'll need to kill 14 bosses. Couple things that make this a little bit more spicy is that scaling is not going to be based on checks. It is only going to be based on the bosses you kill and the dragons you kill. Each one of those that die will increase levels by 3, up to a max level of 50. Now, I do understand there's a couple other fun things in here, Joker Mage, that our runners get to look forward to. You want to go over those with us?
Well, how would you like just buying everything at the same price and then selling it back at half that price? Does that sound like an excellent form of commerce to you?
Boy, that sounds fantastic. Is that what they get to do today?
Yeah, we have barter shops. So it's going to be 20K to buy something and you get 1K when you sell it back. 10% of those items are going to be randomized. And in addition, you might want to be careful opening up just any treasure boxes you see around the world because there is a 1% chance of having a monster in a box fight instead.
That's quite dangerous, but at least the shops have a good chance of having something valuable. But I believe the randomization is a little lower than Ultros League. I'm not 100% sure what the typical randomization of shops is, but I think 10% is lower. Do you know?
I'm not sure about that off the top of my head, but the cost that barter shop thing is different, and it looks like we're starting out. That is Realm Mod Gao, and we'll go over some of the other stuff as we see them in the actual game.
A Magitech slot Gao, actually. Even better.
Okay.
And I did receive confirmation 10% randomization is lower than normal.
So one of the flags here is if you kill 6 dragons, you get plus 20 magic power. So that could really amplify that Gao if we decide to go that route.
Absolutely, and I see somebody going straight to the Opera House. Our man Saberwolf heading over here to give us all a show, so we get to watch the legendary opera sequence, which gives them a reward. He will start this seed after this check with a free Illumina, one of the best swords in the game.
Yeah. Posthumorpheus Jexrock, and Jexrock is actually one of the people who designed this flag set, are doing fairly standard going to Narsh and just, looting out the place. So far, no monsters in box yet, though. And there you see the 2,000, gold shops there.
That is very handy. I wish that was something that we could have in Ultros League, but I understand it can be quite overpowered if you find, fun things like shields or experience eggs, Illuminas, if they're in this particular flag set. I'm unsure. I actually doubt it, but even if you find shields or rods at 2,000, that can be fantastic.
Just sort of skipping Narsh for now, it seems.
Interesting choice. I know some people do Narsh, some people don't. My typical routing path is to hit Narsh, straight into Returner, straight into South Figaro if I don't have any characters that offer me any large loot areas like Terra going down to the Sealed Gate.
Okay, and Possum Morpheus also going to be doing the Opera House for that Illumina. Just wanted to loot out Narsh first, it seems.
You're already there, so you might as well do it before you fly out, so I definitely understand the reasoning for that. Now, there is one last thing that our runners get to make a choice about later on in this seed, and that's going to be, do they want to win a Coliseum match? A couple things that's different about this as opposed to Ultros League, you can see every single reward. So every item you have in your inventory, you can see what that is going to reward you if you win it. If you win it, you also get 40 Vigor. That's amazing. That's strength in Final Fantasy VI for those who may not know. But also, you will have Auto Berserk on all of your characters for the rest of the seed. So are they going to be willing to take that risk? Would you, Joker Mage?
If one of the Coliseum items was a decent weapon that would, empower that Auto Berserk, then certainly that would be an excellent way to get through a lot of the early fights and just mow through a lot of the later fights too.
Definitely, and there's ways to negate that as well. You could equip the Peace Ring, things like that. So you get to have the Vigor, and you get to get rid of the Auto Berserk. However, you still lose a Relic slot, so it's a toss-up and a bit of a loss regardless.
And one of the interesting thing I saw on Jex's screen is that he was sort of one of the more annoying NPCs in this game is the Returner's Hideout boss, as he's sometimes known. And he basically just gets in your way when you're trying to loot out that back room. And we saw him turn into a Moogle, then into an Imp, then turn into a Moogle again. So that would tell me that we have some kind of Y button growth thing going on. And I'll be right back.
So as he was mentioning, there is some things that we can add to the flag sets that affect, if you press Y on an NPC, what happens to them. You can use X Zone, which sort of does an animation and makes them disappear. You can do Y Remove, which just makes them blink out of existence. Or apparently what we saw on Jexfrox's screen is that you can also just change the way they look if they get on your nerves, which, it's cathartic. It's not as cathartic as nuking them out of existence.
Ooh.
But,
Physics, I hate to interrupt you, but we have something beautiful on the screen. Jexrock just found some snow mufflers in the barter shop. That is huge. Snow muffler is one of the best defensive items in the game. And you know who by default gets to wear the snow muffler? The best character in the game.
Our boy the Yeti. And if you're going to rock him, then I think you should go straight to that Coliseum. So if they get the Yeti and they want to use them and put that snow muffler on, head straight to the Coliseum. But Yeti also starts with a snow muffler, so you wouldn't have to buy them anyway.
I'm back. Sorry about that. One of my roommates got a little over-eager with some home repairs.
Oh, okay. I thought maybe he was playing the trumpet or, doing something else or blowing his nose particularly loud. So glad to hear everything is going okay for you. Looks like Saberwolf is done with his trip to the Opera House. We got Bubba Ski heading over there to get his Illumina, and Jexfrock is hanging out in South Figaro basement getting some looting done. So typically early Final Fantasy VI seeds are going to be very heavy on the looting, figuring out what you're going to do to get the seed kick started so you have the offense to get going and start beating some bosses.
Okay, and just by judging by their relative positions, I'm guessing that Jex so far is the only one who has not yet gone to Opera House.
You are correct. He is the only one that has not gone to the Opera House. Now, he is the curator of this particular flag set. Old Jexfrox here is well known for creating some of the spiciest and hottest seeds that you find in this randomizer. So maybe he's just got some information we don't know about this flag set, and he knows the move. We're going to find out if it pays off for him.
Yep. All right, so Possum just got his Illumina. And while I was away, did anyone actually go and check on what's in the Coliseum yet?
I don't believe so, no, but I do want to make one thing here. We just saw the Illumina. I just saw Possum Morpheus try to equip the Illumina, and guess who the only one who can equip it is? It's Gau, who can't even use the fight command.
I mean, Yeah, that is unfortunate. However, Illumina can still potentially be a stat stick to boost him up until we find someone who can use it more effectively.
Absolutely, it is perhaps the best stat stick in the game, and given the fact that Gao is sitting here with Magitech and slots, very magic-based, I think it would be very great for him to just go ahead and use it for now.
It does sort of prompt, I think, our players to possibly go seek out some extra characters just to see if they can get some better party composition or some better abilities. But we'll see what they decide to do.
Absolutely, and I see Pos Morpheus has stumbled on the Snow Mufflers as well, while Saberwolf is going to World of Ruin. South Figaro. South Figaro in general is a huge hotspot for looting due to all of the free loot just hanging around in barrels and crates, so... Again, it's just a great place to start to figure out what you're going to do and what your battle plan is. Xbox is going to check the Zen Thief. Let's see what he's got for us. The 62,000 gold Esper.
Yeah,
Not
so
fantastic.
you'd have to sell 62 items of any variety to be able to afford that. So
Yeah,
just
that's a bit
get like
much.
2/3 of a stack of anything, really, and you're good.
Yeah, it's no big deal. I'm sure they'll find it, right? But I'm sure they can get the money eventually from fights, or alternatively, probably what they'll do is go to the World of Ruin version. In the World of Balance version, you can see what the thief has, if it's an item or an Esper. Once you know that, you can go to the World of Ruin and see if he's got a lower price for you. You know, maybe prices went down after the apocalypse.
And Lost Causes in the chat room does point out that we do have the option to just go to the Coliseum and make Gao go berserk.
That's very true, yes. You could do that. And also, Myria-chan does ask if the South Figaro's treasures differ in World of Balance and World of Ruin, and they absolutely do. They are separate loot pools, so you can loot them both out for all that sweet, sweet loot in there.
And it did look like Possum reset out of something. I didn't catch what he was doing, though.
I actually did not see that either. Looks like he's going into the Coliseum. He saw something he likes. He's ready to put on a show for us. Let's see what he found. Valiant Knives for, I believe that was eye drops?
Yes.
First, the Latimeria. I think Gao can handle that just fine, I believe. I believe he has the Snow Muffler on as well, because he only took 1 damage, so... Gao's
so
pretty loaded right now.
So Auto Berserk is now enabled, plus 40 Vigor, plus he has a Valiant Knife now.
Which I wonder who can equip it. A Valiant Knife in this game is one of the top tier items, but can be a little bit finicky to use. Valiant Knife not only just has great battle power to start with, but additionally, as you lower your life down, you will also do more damage based on the amount of life you are missing. So it benefits greatly from the amount of HP you have.
Yeah, this is kind of hilarious, though. These Skybase didn't have enough MP to cast Doom on Gao, because it's not high enough level to like it normally would be.
That's amazing. It's a great idea to come here at level 3 before enemies can really do anything, and he just picked up an experience egg for a Snow Muffler.
Yeah, so that's another really great thing, because that does, that's going to ramp stuff up. And we already saw where you can get more Snow Mufflers.
Definitely, and given the way the scaling works in this, you're typically not going to gain 3 levels from killing 1 boss, unless you have experience eggs on. So Pos Morpheus looks like he's about to stock up on those, and he doesn't have to worry about doing a bunch of grind fights to keep up. If he has 2 characters keeping up, especially with an Illumina, he'll be able to rock through this, I believe.
Yeah, so right now he just has the VK and the Illumina. He didn't go for any extras, so probably deciding that that's enough to get through all the stuff he needs to get through for now.
Oh, for sure. And also, Bubbaski looks like he's going to Owzer's Mansion, and just make sure... It's a good thing we didn't ban Jax Frock. He did take his trip to the Opera House as well for his free Illumina. So all of us have given us a show today. Now I'm curious what Pos Morpheus is going to do with all this newfound power. and what checks he's going to do, but that puts him at a severe advantage to the rest of the competition in this early game.
Yeah, I mean, I hope personally that he goes and takes out some dragons, but that's just me.
Possum Morpheus is a very strong proponent for killing dragons, but he won't do so before he gets some espers. And it looks like he took a trip to go buy some more stuff. That way he could get some more stuff from the Colosseum. Likely some more snow mufflers for those eggs. And
yeah, I mean,
that is what he's doing.
Here's the thing, like, since you've already got the auto berserk, it doesn't matter. Doing additional fights there isn't going to make it auto berserk times 2 or 3. So you've already been affected by it. You might as well just do some more fights to get everything you need.
Definitely. Bubba Ski has gone through Owzer's Mansion and has encountered Kefka, which is actually a fantastic low-level fight. So he should be able to get through this quite quickly, just spamming Magitech. Even if he has high magic defense, he's still probably level, what, 7 or 8 right now with the 3 characters, so he'll get through it, no problem.
Yeah, I think this might be the first actual boss fight we've seen. So
actually, yeah, you are right. The scaling is from bosses, so he's just level 3 or 4.
Yeah, and what Possum did was actually get 2 extra snow mufflers to get 2 extra experience eggs. So now he has experience eggs for a full team.
Which I think is a fantastic idea given the scaling and how it works in this. He will no longer have to worry about taking grind fights. He can just kill bosses, keep up with scaling the entire time, and not even worry about it anymore. And it looks like Bubba Ski was gifted an Esper for his efforts over in Owzer's Mansion, with Possum Morpheus not far behind.
Yeah, it's a fairly solid check to do this one.
It's one of my favorites because of the grind fights.
Yeah, and it's not even the, particularly difficult ones usually, unless you get really unlucky with the formations.
Yeah, some of the formations can be absolutely devastating. Generally, early on, I really like to take any kind of check that has automatic grind fights, and I find Owzer's to be really good because you can see what the grind fight is by jumping into the chair painting early on, and then the treasure chests that you can activate toward the end will be the same grind fight. So if it's a really good one, you can just grind them out and be extremely powerful by the end.
Yeah, as long as you don't run into like any of the ones that throw knives or shurikens at you, you're probably going to be all right. Those are the ones I've noticed typically just tear through my party at early levels.
Yeah, you don't want to see many robots. You don't want to see many ogres or ninjas. None of those very good. Psychots are fine, I think. So as you can see, Possum Morpheus is straight up berserked, and he'll just be kind of letting it ride for a while here. He might choose to get some peace rings later and kind of negate that, but for the early game, it looks like he's just going to let it roll.
And Gao still is using Magitech, it looks like.
I am fairly certain that slots are not eligible to be used on any uncontrollable status. So that includes the Colosseum, and it includes Berserk as well. So he's just going to attack or use Magitech and not use slots at any point. And Jexproc is heading to the Veld. Looks like he's gonna see what Gao has for him and maybe hit the trench up afterwards. It does look like Gao can use those dice as well.
Yeah, did we find dried meat somewhere for 2000k? Or 2k, I should say?
It sure seems so. He is about to start doing his check, so he must have stumbled upon them at some point.
And this is a fairly solid check early on when you only have like 3 characters. That looked like Go-Go in the Yeti spot.
That is very good information to know, and it's one reason why I really like doing this early in Mog checks. Because with a Mog check, you can trigger the Lone Wolf. You can walk up, see what Yeti's got, see what Kefka and Narsh has, see what the Lone Wolf has, and you can kind of gather a bunch of information at one time. And I find that to be really beneficial, even more so if you have a Yeti start.
Okay, so that is not a character. It could still be an Esper at the Veld. We'll see as soon as someone feeds that man.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I do believe that the Gao Velt check is a guaranteed progression check. So you'll always get a Magicite or a character.
Well, in this case, we definitely got Tritox, so that's definitely an Esper. That's really nice to see. And
Pretty
Lone
mediocre.
Wolf one is
I did see one
Thunder
thing.
Shield.
That's not bad. Learning a level 2 spell is always beneficial. I did see that Esper that Saberwolf got was pretty mediocre, but there was one spell that can be quite useful, and that is Muddle. In the event he runs into Katana Soul, you can just muddle him up. He goes ahead and Slayer edged himself, and he's done for. You don't have to fight him.
Okay, so we know. So we're seeing Serpent Trench here on Saberwolf's side. That's pretty solid. Lone Wolf did not pan out. And we do. Oh, there we go. Setzer at Kefka and Narsh. So, and Bubbaski's going to do that for the Gambler.
That is an interesting check. Interesting choice with only 3 characters.
Yeah, and I mean, we know that Veld did not pan out. We know Lone Wolf did not pan out. We haven't seen Moogle Defense. Onzers did not pan out. I don't think we've seen Esper Cave. So we are kind of running out of checks that would have characters. And we have a guaranteed Setzer now that we know that he's there, so might as well go for it.
That's true, and it is very possible that it is gated here. And if you're already up here, you're right. You just go ahead and go for it. Gao is very, very powerful with the Magitech command, especially versus something like Narapa, because his Reflect means nothing to Magitech, or slots for that matter.
Yeah, there's a reason Narapa is known as the speed bump, because it's pretty easy to get past it. It just takes a bit more time.
Definitely, and so, but at higher scaling, he can be quite spicy. But usually, you just X zone him, and then you continue on your merry way. I do see a question from Knuckly Kong asking if he included the no free lunch flag, and he did not. Free checks do exist. You can take as many as you like, and it does not increase scaling. Only bosses and dragons will increase levels by 3.
And we see Jex also in the Coliseum now.
I would expect no less from Jexfrock. He is the curator. He should do the thing.
Possum is following Saberwolf and going to be doing the Serpent Trench. And this is the second Serpent Trench cave. Or no, this is the first Serpent Trench cave on Saberwolf's side.
Doesn't look like that Possum Morpheus found the dried meat, so he's just rolling in here in the trench and hoping for the best. I think the one place that our runners have not checked yet, of course, besides Bubbaski with Setzer, is Realms.
Esper Cave?
Esper Cave, yeah. Brain checked out for a moment there. Yeah, the Esper Cave, and that one's peekable, so I'm surprised that it hasn't been looked at. But Bubbaski has found Edgar at Moogle Defense.
Okay, so far Narsh has 2 possible answers for us.
It's where all the characters seem to be hiding right now, but we'll see if maybe one was hiding at the end of the trench here shortly, since Saberwolf will be finishing that soon. And Jexfrock heading there as well, so a lot of trench divers today.
Yeah, this could be a really good advantage for Bubba, because everyone else has so far faded the Narsh checks.
All right, looks like we have struck out on characters at the trench as well, so we are only 1 check away from determining that this was a Kefka Narsh locked seed, which would be not great, but it'd be fantastic for Bubbaski.
It's Kefka and Narsh or Moogle Defense, because Moogle Defense you don't, because we do have that starting Mog, but it is, unless that Esper Cave pans out, it is going to be a Narsh locked seed.
Absolutely, I completely forgot about Moogle Defense, even though Bubbaski is actively doing it.
Yeah, as Knuckly Kong says, how much progression do you want in Narsh? Yes.
Yes. Just reminds me of a seed I did recently where everything there was a character. It was Welk Cave, it was Lone Wolf, it was Kefka Narsh, and it was Moogle Defense. Every single one of them had a character. It was pretty ridiculous.
At least you didn't have to travel far.
I did not have to travel far.
Easy commute.
Downside being you do have a really hard time. Oh, I'm just going to interrupt what I just said. Doomgaze has appeared. Rye Guy, thank you so much for that raid. We appreciate you. Welcome in to this race of Final Fantasy VI Worlds Collide.
And we have a math test up on Moogle Defense. It does look like Bubba passed that, though, since we're already into, just beating down on this Doomgaze.
Yeah, he passed his math test, so that's good, and looks like he has plenty of tools to take care of him. Again, just having Magitech early is fantastic. I'm not sure if he picked up the hero rings like everybody else did, but those give you the same benefit as earrings, so if he did, that would make Gao just an absolute powerhouse.
Saberwolf is now in Narshe, so hopefully we'll find both the Setzer that is behind the relatively easy Narapa, and possibly the Edgar that's at Moogle Defense. And Doomgaze is down.
Pretty uneventful. It's always good to see. It is an absolute bummer to run into Doomgaze after a gauntlet check like that, whether it's Kefka at Narshe or something like the Rail section in Magitech or Moogle Defense. Running into him and just getting mathed down in one round is very disheartening, so I'm glad to see that he got through that safely.
And I didn't see what skills are on Setzer or Edgar yet.
I did not either, but I'm sure we'll find out pretty soon in the next combat, so we'll just have to keep an eye out for that.
Possum is going to do Esper Cave.
Oh good, let's see what we got. I like this one just because it's checkable right at the start, so you can see exactly what it is, and a Thunder Shield is nothing to scoff at. Now we have a Strago, of course we do. Why wouldn't we, right?
Yeah, so...
Every seed.
Yeah, so this also sort of means that all of the characters we need are going to be essentially Sphere 0. Because you got Moogle Defense, you got Kefka and Narshe, you got Esper Cave, that's your 6 characters.
Yeah, and I actually kind of dislike when that happens because it really just blasts the whole seed wide open with so many different places you could go. And it makes it kind of difficult for routing when you get many characters back to back. But I do know Possumorpheus fairly well, and he is a strong proponent for going to Fanatics Tower early. So if I were to suspect anything, he's going to get this Strago, and he's going to go hit Fanatics. Let's see if I'm right.
Yeah, the other thing this could promote is a law of divergence, because some people might just get that Setzer at Kefka and Narshe and immediately leave to go do Daryl's Tomb, go, search the skies, that kind of stuff.
Absolutely, or in the case of Bubbaski is heading toward Edgar's checks, which is kind of a section that many people like to fade because of kind of the length of it. It's not super quick, there's no save point before the first boss, and it's kind of a long walk. So a lot of people tend to just not do it or save it till way later.
I do think in this particular flag site it could be a decent check, though, because there is a dragon there, and you do need to defeat 4 dragons.
Absolutely, not only a dragon, but apparently a Cyan. And you also have the opportunity to check 2 monsters in a box. So if you're looking for Katana Soul, which we have Muddle, there's 2 opportunities to find him in the chests there.
Yeah, so the standard sort of route you do with this is just do engine room, get above ground, check the throne, then go back underground to hit Ancient Castle. And that's pretty much every single Edgar check in the game.
Definitely. I prefer to do them all at once, back to back. And, it's almost like I know my rival, because look at where he is. Straight to Fanatics Tower. It's kind of his move. He will always go here early if possible, and especially when everybody's berserked. He's got an Illumina, he's got Magitech, he's got level 3 spells. He's going to hit it up right away.
Okay, so that's just possibly an Esper, possibly not. There is a dragon here, though.
This one is actually a guaranteed progression. So if there's no character at the bottom of Fanatics, it is 100% going to be an Esper. The reason why Fanatics is so fantastic in general is that it has 3 pieces of progression, at least in normal Ultros League seeds. You have the bottom check if you have Strago, which is a guaranteed progression of an Esper or a character. you have the dragon about halfway up, and you have the high tier item at the top. So it's fantastic for working on getting the skip in regular Ultros League, not so much in this one, because the skip only comes from bosses and not dragons. But you're still guaranteed a dragon, progression, and a high tier item all in one check.
Yeah, and so Saberwolf is going for the Setzer. We'll get to fight Narapa at the end of this. We'll see if he also does Moogle defense or if he skips Moogle defense to go do Setzer checks.
Looking through these rages, I don't see much too crazy there. I saw a couple that might work well. Box Set, I believe, is the one that does Meteo, so he's got a couple options of rage on that Cyan. But rage is not my favorite thing in the world. And we have a Pearl Dragon over on Posmorpheus' side.
Yeah, that's vanilla one, I think, because I believe that's where you normally fight that dragon.
What dragon? He's already gone. I don't know. Was there a dragon? Took him out in no time. He's one of the more annoying ones, too.
I mean, if the other boss in this location is also vanilla, we do have the answer in that most of the party is Berserk.
That would be horrifying. I believe that is Magimaster, if I am...
yeah, but again, most of our party is Berserk, so we'll just...
Well, the problem with Magimaster is his defense is insane. And since we're all berserked, our elemental spells probably won't do anything, and we can't berserk him if we have berserk. So we're definitely hoping that's not the case. But hey, another Illumina. Ooh, what was on the throne? Were you able to see that?
I did not catch that.
Ah, dang. I was checking to see if anyone else could use that Illumina, but it still looks like Gao is the only Illumina user in the team at the moment. No Strago this time. Oh, we got the spicy Burning House check. Everybody's favorite check in the game. Everybody can't wait to do Burning House. But leave it to Jexfrock to just go ahead and get it over with. It's definitely a check that most people are not going to want to do.
Okay, this is an interesting fight up here.
Well, Genji Glove Illumina is going to pretty much just take care of it. Oh, and apparently Doom Darts. Fantastic. Now, Burning House is known as one of the worst checks in the game, mainly because the enemies that are roaming around are extremely difficult to dodge. It's hard to gauge when they're moving or when they've reached their next tile. So you tend to just kind of run into every single one of them on the way. It's okay for grinding, but it still takes a long time to get through. It's hard to skip them, and the boss at the end can just shut you down, and you're just out a bunch of times. So many people tend to avoid it, but it has its merits, but I personally can't stand it. It's one of my least favorite checks as well.
So, question in chat, why does Marshall have big armor with him? Well, that's because he raised those big armors from when they were the time they were little armors, and so they're very loyal. It takes a long time to raise them. You got to train them. You got to house train them. In reality, normally the Marshall, I think, gets Lobos, but or some other dog variant. But we do randomize that because why not? Let's throw in some extra fun there. You could have something really terrible too.
Looks like Jexfrock has run into a Tritok, which normally would be a bit of an issue, but he has fixed dice equipped, so the Berserk was not an issue. Without those dice, it might have been a little spicy if Gao didn't choose to use some Fire Beam. Got a Dirt Dragon down in the castle, and we got an Esper on Posomorpheus' side. It was Palador. Has Berserk, but I did miss the bonus on it. Possum moving pretty quick there.
Yeah, so right now Bubba is still the only one who has hit the characters, but is only, and it's only on one Esper rather, but everyone else is still only on 2, it looks like.
Yeah, it's been kind of the character party with a couple Espers interspersed here. Posomorpheus doing also a check that most people don't like. It's kind of a theme. Most people don't like Strago checks, but this one you have to go through random rooms with switches that teleport you to random places and open chests that give you a random number of coral from 1 to 5. You need 22 of those. You go talk to a chest and you feed it to him, and then you go up and you fight the boss. But Possum is getting completely swamped with singles, except for that one, which was a 5. So due to the RNG nature of this one, it can go pretty quick, or it can go extremely slow.
Yeah, so we've got actually a decent amount of divergence going on, because we got, Possum doing a bunch of Strago checks. We had Jex just do Burning House. Not sure is Saberwolf in Owzer's Mansion now?
He is in Owzer's Mansion now, which is where Jex is going, it appears. I did have a lovely viewer in chat, Turd Ferguson, just let us know that it is a +2 magic power on that Palador, which is extremely fantastic. With that and an experience egg, pretty much by the end of the game, you could easily be slapping 9s, even with a level 2 spell.
Okay, so and Bubba's already done with the Edgar checks, and I don't think we've seen any Setzer checks yet.
Not yet, but did he find a Sabin down in the ancient castle? It does appear that he found a Sabin down there, so yeah, he's got friends that.
I mean, either that or was it was Sabin on the throne. I didn't actually catch that.
Either way, he's got all the friends and not a lot of the Espers, which is kind of a sketchy place to be. But at least, if you get all the characters out of the way early, you're going to find more Espers, right? So look on the bright side.
Now, in Ultras League, having a bunch of extra characters isn't necessarily a bad thing, because you might be able to get the Kefka Tower skip by getting 9 characters. However, the only tower skip we have in this flag set is 14 bosses. So extra characters are just, more options for checks, which still isn't bad, but it's not Espers.
Definitely, and important to note that dragons do not count as bosses, but they do count toward the unlock requirement of 4 dragons. So it's important that our runners are looking to kill them as they get to them.
And that is possibly why Bubbaski is doing this science check. Mount Zozo does have a dragon up here.
Definitely, this is a very popular check. It's pretty fast, it's loaded with treasures, it does have a dragon that's easy to access, it's free, and you can warp out of it, so it's definitely a good one to go to, particularly if you have a way to warp out. It's just a matter of what dragon does he encounter, but I don't believe at this point that he'll have much of an issue with any dragon he runs into.
Yeah, so Jex and Possum are the only ones with Strago, so they're the only ones who have been doing Strago checks. And so no one else has been inclined to go fight that white dragon up on Fanatic's Tower.
And unfortunately, we know that Strago is barren for characters. He is a dead end. No character at Fanatic's Tower, no character at Ebbett's Rock, and no character at Burning House, because Jex Rock has already done it. So that's kind of a bummer. He's going to have to circle back around and do those Mog checks next.
Yeah, and Saberwolf still doesn't have Edgar, so did not do Moogle Defense. I don't know. He just did Ozer's Mansion, so maybe he's going to Esper Cave and we'll find Strago, which would probably put Bubbaski in a fairly solid lead just by, having the characters.
Absolutely. He's only one character, more than what he actually needed, but he has so many different choices of places to go and just so many options that he's probably going to stumble on Espers a little quicker than the rest of our runners from this point forward, just due to the fact that we know what's coming up for the rest of the runners. It's 1 Esper for Possum Morpheus, and I believe the rest is just going to have to go to Moogle Defense for characters. We have a Storm Dragon over in the Opera House World of Ruin. So Jexfrot continuing to hammer away at those dragons to work on his unlock and also get those high tier items and experience.
Yeah, and I believe, so Bubba's on 2 dragons. Jex is going to be on 2 dragons. Saberwolf has not fought any dragons yet, and Possum Morpheus has fought the Pearl Dragon up in Fanatics Tower. So that's, I think, about where everyone is at.
I think you are correct. And Saberwolf has decided to search the skies, and frankly, it's a good thing that he doesn't have Auto Berserk on right now, because this boss is quite a disaster if you were Auto Berserked. He's such a time waster fighting his Soul Savers on accident and killing them and waiting for them to come back up. So this is one that he'll be very thankful to not be Berserked on.
Okay, Jex is doing Fanatics Tower. We'll find the White Dragon, and we'll find the Marshal and Big Armors. But I'll not find any characters.
And Possum is heading towards Zen. I think he's gonna maybe consider buying that Esper. No, he's just looking for some warp stones. Okay. He doesn't have a whole lot of money. I don't know if he's gonna be. I think he hasn't checked it yet, but he might be a little sorely disappointed there.
Have we seen the price in World of Ruin for the Zen Thief?
I'm not sure. I think the only one that might have checked would have been Jex, but I don't believe so.
Because I'm pretty sure the only checks I've seen were World of Balance to Zen Thief. And we know that's like 62k.
I did see a little bit of Merton on that Alexander, so that's a fantastic spell if we can find some protection around. I don't think we found any Minervas in shops. I don't think we found any shields either, or we'd be seeing more people cracking them, but if they can track any down, Merton is just a wonderful strat, if you're not going to take the Berserk.
And Bubba is going to do the Daryl's Tomb. This is sort of peekable in that you're told what the reward is before you actually fight the boss, but then you immediately go fight the boss. But you can always reset out if you don't like what you're going to get out of this.
Definitely. It's peekable in the most loose sense of the word. You can see it and smash that reset button if you want to, but you still have to get out of Daryl's Tomb with a warp stone or a walkout. So
it meets the bear's definition of peekable.
It does. It does. And Possum Morpheus heading on up to the Moogle defense, so he'll see. Oh, there's Setzer. Great. All right. Now the question is he going to do Moogle defense while he's here, or is he just going to get out of here? If it was me, I would do Moogle defense. You're already here. If you're going to do Kefket Narsh, you're already in the mayor's house afterwards. Just get it over with.
Yeah, I think the only argument against it is that you're not usually going to save in between. And so if you end up with something, you might be scared of what you might find at Moogle defense, and that might scare you off of doing it immediately. But it still is a solid path.
Definitely, and that's a very valid fear because we know what is at Moogle defense. So, what level is Possum Morpheus at? Looks like 33 right now, but will he be 35 when he goes and does it? Could be very dangerous.
Yeah, and he has experience eggs on everyone, so I think all his characters are going to be the same, if not similar levels.
Yeah, I think he might be in a bit of a precarious situation if he does the, I'm racing, I gotta go strats. If he's at level 35 at the end of this, he's gonna, or if it was it 35 or 25? Either way, if he's a multiple of 5 at the end of this, Doomgaze can shut him down very quickly.
It looked like Saberwolf reset out of the monster in a box fight.
Must not have been anything very interesting. But Stray is in the coffin, so little Esper's always good to find.
Yeah, so Setzer can then go and do some of the Setzer check and it looks. Have we seen the cafe check for Setzer yet?
I don't believe so. I haven't seen anybody go into Quillingen yet, but I could have overlooked it with Forerunners, but I don't think so.
And Bubba's going for third dragon.
I rather like Bubba's routing here. He's kind of hanging out on the west side of World of Ruin the entire time. So he's able to knock out Daryl's Tomb, knock out World of Ruin Zozo, knock out the Opera House Dragon. He's able to get it all done back to back, which just saves a lot of time traveling. And we're going to find out real soon how Possum Morpheus fares here. He did not check his levels, so here we go.
Yeah, and We don't have Yeti yet, but Bubbaski could theoretically go to World of Ruin Narsh to get dragon number 4. Alternatively, you could just do one of the dragons in Kefka's Tower itself to get the actual final Kefka unlock. That might be a better routing, depending on what your party's looking like.
Absolutely, and you can actually cross over and take both dragons with one party if you want, if you're too short, just while running up the tower to face Kefka, if you wanted to go that way. And here we go. Let's see what level Possumorpheus is at. Will he pass the math check? Okay, he did. I was actually very, very worried.
Yeah,
he had to be close, either one high or one low, but so close.
Yeah, we only saw the 33 at the beginning of the Kefka and Narsh fight. Bubbaski got a Valiant Knife for that dragon fight.
Now we're going to see what the World of Ruin Zen Thief has for us, and if his prices are a little bit more reasonable this time around. 60,000 is a bit much.
Yeah, that's very much at the high end. Oh, we have Sabin, so we got to go do this first, I think. Or actually, I think you can buy it, then do the Sabin check.
You can do it in any order you want. The only thing is once you start this up, you cannot stop it. So you can't exit once you trigger the collapsing house fight or sequence.
On the other hand, there are 2 monster in a box that could potentially be your Katana Soul if you want to go for that offering gear.
Ooh, but now he really wants to be looking for the monster in a box, but he does not seem to be very concerned about it. Generally, when I find an Atma weapon or a VK, I am instantly looking for a Katana Soul if I don't already have an offering on deck.
Now, Bubba is definitely skipping monster in boxes and grabbing the others on the way out. So Possumorpheus reformed his party with just Setzer, or I'm sorry, with just Strago.
He doesn't have Go-Go. Oh, okay. I wonder what he was doing there. Interesting choice. Ah, and while I was distracted, I did not see what Bubbaski got there.
Okay, so that Zen Thief is asking for 45k now in the World of Ruin. And that's a blue dragon up at, I'm guessing that's World of Ruin Narsh.
It does look like it, yes. So we got a 33% discount up on the Zen Thief today, so I think that's pretty good. It doesn't look like he's interested in buying it right now, but I think money is in short supply when it comes to these bartering seeds, where it's only 2,000 to buy and 1,000 to sell. It can be hard to get the money that you need when normally you could just sell one item for 20,000. You know, sell a couple of those and you're done with it.
Yeah, absolutely. With that limited resale value, you just need a giant stack of items to make some to get some of those prices down.
Definitely.
There's an Air Force here.
Air Force at Tritox spot, which it looks like he's not going to be around very much longer. He's pretty much done for. And we got Bubbaski heading over to Doma Dream, one of my personal favorite checks. 1 piece of guaranteed progression and 2 extra checks. So hopefully we get overloaded with Espers here because Bubbaski really, really needs Espers. But let's see what Jex Rock gets.
Right now, it looks like everyone else is on 5 Espers. Jex is on 2 dragons. It looks like Possum's still only on 1 dragon. But Bubba has done 3 dragons so far.
Yeah, he's pretty much beelined it to every dragon that's currently available except for Fanatic's Tower. And I guess up in World of Ruin Narsh. So there's a couple more available, but any of them that were on his immediate path, he seems to have pretty much taken. Except for Fanatics, but I do get that. A lot of people don't particularly enjoy that check.
I mean, one thing you could potentially do is get to 3 dragons, 13 bosses, then stack when you go to Kefka's Tower, just put a full party in the second route to do the toilet Atma, the prison Atma, and then the dragon there. That's your unlock, that's your skip.
That's actually a fantastic idea because Toilet Atma does count as a boss. The dragon does not. So you'd be able to get your unlock and the skip at the same time. I love that idea. I wonder if our runners will think of that. Now, one thing I do see here is Possum Morpheus is hanging out in Edgar's castle. You know, it's Figaro Castle here. Edgar does get half off on all the shops in Figaro Castle in both World of Ruin and World of Balance. However, he also gets half off in World of Ruin South Figaro, and only World of Ruin, not World of Balance, so it offers the option to get half off items, which can be extremely powerful. But I guess in this seed it would be 1,000 instead of 2,000, so maybe not as effective or useful in this flag set, but still okay.
And we have a demon fight going on Bubba's side.
Not a fan of this guy, but I think he'll still be fine given the fact that he has dice and also he's not berserked. He can be a little annoying when you're berserked, when he switches to Lady, but in the randomizer, it is added in that he will spend more time in demon form as opposed to switching to the girl form more often and just sitting there. He'll usually transform, do an ability, go right back into demon form, so you can make sure to kill him a little quicker.
And Jex did pass his math test too. So
got a bunch of mathemagicians here today.
Yeah.
Always good to see.
Doomgaze is not doing too well. I think he's over 3 right now.
Well, I don't think offense is much of a problem in this seed right now. So our runners are just, they have power in abundance. However, what I did mention earlier does seem to be occurring. Well, it was occurring on Possum Morpheus' side until Edgar decided to cooperate and Genji Illumina him. But he did spend a lot of time not hitting Rexol, which is what I was worried about being berserked.
Yeah, so we do know there's 2 characters on Edgar's checks. I still don't know if anyone's done the cafe check, though.
I still don't think I've seen anybody go there, which is actually kind of amazing. Either we're just not paying attention or everybody is just ghosting it.
That was Fenrir, though, so that's a great find for Possum.
Oh, here it goes. Finally, we're going to see it. Off to Cullingan for Possum Morpheus.
Oh, just an imp.
And just a behemoth suit, so
okay.
Nobody was missing out on anything, unfortunately.
Yeah, so it does appear that Edgar is actually the path through this seed, because you're going to need Edgar to get that 6th character, it looks like.
It does look like it, so pretty much all of our runners here are going to be pretty loaded up on characters by the end. Saberwolf having a bit of an issue with Marshall over here.
So Jex hasn't checked Narsh at all as far as like the Kefka Narsh or Mughal defense, it seems. And Saberwolf unfortunately skipped the Mughal defense that has that Edgar. So right now Possum Morpheus does have a chance to sort of get caught up to Bubba. It's just a matter of, you know, getting that last character and then 3 more Espers. And then at least 1 more dragon, maybe a couple more dragons. But Bubba does still sort of have the advantage. It's just really limited on Espers right now.
Definitely, but that could change here at the end of Doma Dream. It looks like we have guaranteed Esper right here, and we could very well have another Esper on the throne, and just an Atma weapon to get in our way, which won't be much of an issue with Illuminas. Or Dice. I don't think he's using the Illuminas right now. He is not currently using Edgar, who can naturally use them. So I think it's still Gao just hanging on to him.
Oh, Jex does have Edgar.
Oh, yes, he does. So he's heading down that way as well.
Okay, so right now it seems like then Saberwolf is probably at the most disadvantage just not having Edgar.
Yeah, he's kind of spending out all of his checks except for Mughal Defense, which I do hope he doesn't forget Mughal Defense. It is kind of one that's easy to forget from time to time, so I'm hoping that maybe he just ducked it and didn't actually forget that it's an option. It is one of the newer-ish checks in Worlds Collide, only added a couple seasons ago.
Yeah, so we do have an Adma weapon fight at the Rexel spot. That's just finished up.
And Spaghetti goes down over in Daryl's tomb, so we know he's going to get himself an Esper. And we know that Bubbaski's going to get himself an Esper. It's just a matter of what's on that throne. And the throne can be an Esper or a item, not a character in Doma Dream.
Okay, Possum's going for the dragon at Opera House. Still, I don't think he's checked Edgar's stuff yet. Yeah, no, obviously he hasn't. Otherwise, he'd be doing that.
For Possum Morpheus, I believe he has the Illuminas on both. He has both Illuminas on Edgar right now.
Well, no, I meant he hasn't gone to anywhere near the South Figaro Cave yet.
Oh, yeah, no, he hasn't. I assume he's probably going to go there next, since he's just going to take this dragon, and probably it's kind of next on the path, so...
I mean, number-wise, it really does feel like Jex is ahead. Has 2 dragons, so could just do the Kefka Tower dragons for that, and already has the characters, just needs to find 3 more Espers.
That is true, and Jexrock is getting ready to go down into Edgar's checks, so he's going to find that Sabin, which opens up a plethora of checks that he can go to. I mean, you got Burning House, Imperial Camp, Phantom Forest, Barren Falls, and also Mount... Oh, what's the word I'm looking for? I can't remember it. Colts. Mount Colts. How dare you? Nice try, Glue. Talking in my ear with the God mic. I don't know if you were on stream there, but yeah, Mount Colts.
But yeah, from what we can see from our elevated position here as the commentators and viewers, is that this is definitely a hard required Moogle defense seed, because there's no way you're getting to character number 6 without Edgar, whether Edgar's your number 6 or if he's your number 4.
Absolutely. So they have to do that Moogle defense. That's where they got Edgar, right? It was Moogle defense. So
yeah, and that means it's a hard required Tomb Gaze too.
Ooh, which is pretty awful, but thankfully everyone has managed to make it through. Currently, with the exception of Saberwolf, he has yet to do so. So he'll be heading there shortly. Hopefully he's able to pass his, and, you know, everybody gets to graduate today. Now, in case anybody is watching this and thinking, man, I would love to get in on this, how in the world do I even get started? I have an answer for you. Just go to www.ff6worldscollide.com and you can find links to our Discord, you can find links to the seed generator, links to our wiki, and find all the information you need to get started. We also have a few options for our beginners. We love beginners in our community. We do have a mentorship program where you'll get paired with one of the big dogs in our community who'd be more than happy to assist you with the process of learning this randomizer. And we have a Moogle Cup that is currently having sign-ups available. And that is a new player-focused tournament. You'll be paired up one-on-one with a mentor, learn how to play the game, get some live races under your belt, learn all the fun things about this randomizer, and potentially be ready for your first Ultros League. So if you are interested, please check that out, and we just love to see you. But Joker Mage, I think there's one other thing we got going on. We got a couple events going on here.
I just wanted to jump in real quick, because I don't know if we saw it before, but Bubbaski showed us the reward from that World of Ruin Narsh Dragon, and that was an offering.
And I believe he picked up the Atma weapon, so that is fantastic.
Yeah, so that's a very fun dragon to go and take, just because, you know, offering, we haven't found the Katana Soul yet. But I think you were about to try and get me to mention some stuff that's happening in a couple of days, specifically on Sunday, June 16th. First starting at 6 o'clock Eastern Time AM, so 6 in the morning. For those of you on this side of my side of the country, at least, we'll be going to close out the overnight relay for the Final Fantasy Randomizer Summer Marathon. It starts earlier in the evening with the Final Fantasy IV Free Enterprise and Chrono Trigger Jets of Time randomizers being the first two legs of that. Drinks Glue, who is sort of running things behind the scenes here, Christopher Morgan and Knuckly Kong, who I saw in the chat, are going to be our runners for that. And so that's going to be happening over on the official Final Fantasy Randomizer Twitch channel. And I think you have a little bit more information on that.
I do. There's actually going to be two different runs. There's going to be one of them at 6 a.m. and there'll also be another run over at 5:45 p.m. This is for the 3-day event that they're doing. It is their summer marathon. It is a 3-day event that is all randomizer communities are invited to join, and it is benefiting the Liam Foundation, an organization dedicated to encouraging, assisting, healing, and empowering the LGBTQIA+ community. So if you're interested in randomizers, definitely go check out that marathon. It just started today.
Yeah. And in the meantime, we're getting sort of caught up with everyone else, where Bubbaski, Possum, and Jex have similar character counts and similar Esper counts. Possum's a bit behind on the dragon count, but not by that much. Again, there's always the option of doing the coward dragons. So really, it's a matter of who can find those final few Espers, and that is going to be who's getting into the tower first.
Definitely. It looks gated to Sabin. So it's going to be some of these Sabin checks and maybe even a follow-up character from Sabin to get these Espers. So the bit of the logic or the routing in this seed is pretty bizarre.
What was the collapsing house reward? Did you happen to catch that?
It was an Esper, but I don't know exactly what it gave.
Okay, yeah. So Possum is just finishing up Edgar's checks right now. So does have the Cyan, so can go do some Cyan checks, including Doma Dream, which was Doma Dream double Esper?
Doma Dream was double Esper, yes. I actually did not catch what was at the Stooges spot, the very first boss. I wasn't sure if that was an Esper. I'm thinking not, but definitely the Rexol and the Throne checks were both.
Yeah, so hear me out. Possum just needs to do if that's all correct. Possum just needs to do Doma Dream, then the 2 dragons anywhere, and that's his unlock.
100%. He's actually very close to Doma Dream. I don't see that Cyan is marked on his tracker, but I do believe he has him.
And we have
I feel like I've seen it.
The 9th character we've seen so far. That's a Yeti at Doma Castle Defense.
He finally made his appearance.
And which means we can go ahead and get Gogo too if we really, really wanted to.
Yeah, I don't think Possumorpheus has Cyan. I'm not 100% on that one.
He would have had to get Cyan to get through the engine room, I think.
Oh, you're right, yep. So he must have gotten him, and he just went down to Crumbling House first, which makes sense.
Yeah, and Sabin was in the Ancient Castle spot. I still missed what was on the Figaro throne.
Yeah, me as well. But we are going to be able to catch up and see what is at the Stooges spot in in Doma Dreams. So we'll see that shortly.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's checked their. I don't know if we've seen on any trackers yet how many bosses any of these runners have. So we don't really know where they are as far as skip. I don't know if we can get that information or if we just have to wait for one of them to show their tracking screen.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure where they stand on that, but just given how the flags looked, it seemed like you'd probably be pretty close to the amount of bosses just by default, but maybe You would still need to go hunt 3 or 4 of them, maybe. And we got piranhas at Barren Falls. Is this even randomized?
Yeah, this is at least the second of maybe third dose of vanilla. I'm trying to remember if there was some others. I know White Dragon was vanilla. I'm trying to remember if there was something else I'm forgetting.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I always forget the dragon locations, to be honest. And we have Drinks Glue rolling in here saying that Jexy is uncool and has an old tracker. So who knows how many checks he's at. Bubba has 10 bosses, Possum has 9, and Saberwolf has 8.
Okay, so they're a lot further behind on bosses than I thought they might have been. Possum, if he just... looks like he's also doing Barren Falls at this point, so that'll be one more boss. Yeah, if he went ahead and did Doma Dream, that would be 2 bosses there.
Yeah, I think he's actually avoiding Doma Dream right now because of the fact it's 3 checks, and he's just trying to do the fastest things he can to get those last 2. So he seems to just be kind of avoiding it at the moment. And when it comes to the piranhas are randomized in the amount of time it takes for Rizapass to show up in 10-second increments. So it can be as short as, I believe, 10 seconds and as long as 1 minute. Yeah, now, it is randomized, but it is going to be the same for everybody in this seed. So if it's 40 seconds, 50 seconds, all these runners that go and fight Rizapass will have to go 50 seconds or 40 seconds through the fight before Rizapass will make himself shown.
So Jex is doing Doma Dream, so we'll probably have the unlock at this point because he's already on 4 dragons. Meanwhile, Saberwolf has reached Google Defense and did see that Edgar now.
The question is, what is his level and will he pass the math test? But we can say that Jexrock is 100% going to be the first person to unlock Kefka's Tower. Question is, what's he going to do with that information? He's probably going to check his bosses and see if he wants to go for skip. But he'll be getting the unlock after the next 2 bosses. I'm sorry, the next 2 checks, not 2 bosses. So he has this 1 boss to do. He'll be able to get the Esper here, get the Esper from the throne, and have his unlock ready to go.
It looks like Strago failed the math, but the other 3 passed.
That's perfectly okay. We also have a Shadow at Barren Falls check. So that does open up at least 1 really quick check and 1 peekable check with the cave at Narsh. So he's probably going to go check Gao's dad's house real quick.
And Realm just got detention, unfortunately.
Thankfully, at this point of scaling, he's not generally too... I'm not even going to keep talking. Every time I talk when it comes to Doomgaze or other bad bosses, they get real spicy. So I'm just going to let him finish up this Doomgaze before I talk. But the worst part about Doomgaze in general is just that opener if you're not prepared for it.
Okay, so that first Esper Doma Dream was actually Siren, which is a really great find. And number fantastic. 2 is Starlet. And that is Kefka Unlock.
Pretty decent Espers, too. We got a Fire 3 on 1, and we have a Magic Power +1 on another. We got a Cure 2 on Starlet. That's pretty good stuff. And Possumorpheus going to do the check over at Cave on the Veldt. This is peekable, but it's only, again, it's one of the, like, kind of sort of peekable. You still have to run all the way through the entire cave. All the way through, it's just 1 room that you don't have to run through. You can see it from 1 room away. If you don't like it, you can warp out. But you are able to see.
Yeah, Bubba's doing the exact same thing right now.
I think it's a pretty solid choice. It is kind of a bummer that or at least that Possumorpheus is not doing Doma Dream because of the amount of Espers he needs. When, like, we know as commentators, that's all you need to do. But that's kind of one of the things that appeals about this game is that, you know, different routes can cause very different things to happen for you. You find different items, different Espers, different spells, different checks, you know? So I find that really appealing in this randomizer in general. And Jexrock is at 8 bosses. I guess he's going to be at about 9 bosses once he finishes up this check at Doma Siege. And we have a Guardian at the end of Cave on the Veldt. He is a gigantic just pool of hit points. He can also do a lot of damage very quickly if you let him spiral out of control. But we have a Strega with a VK, Valiant Knife, and we have an Edgar with double Illuminas. So I don't think the amount of power Guardian can bring out is gonna really do much.
Okay, so Saberwolf did get that. Edgar is just, that is number 6, so, and does only need one more Esper and then a couple dragons. So not as far behind as it might have seemed beforehand, but a lot, like Possum and Bubba, like they're both on 9 characters. Jex is on 7. So that Edgar route, is the route through, but if you follow it through, you're going to be a bit overloaded.
I hate to jump in and interject here, but we have to call it out. Possum Orpheus, absolutely, completely ducking the dog, not petting the dog, just running circles and teasing the dog, and then leaving. Which, you know what? That sounds a lot like he just forfeited the match to me. There's one thing you don't do in this when you're racing. You gotta pet the dog. It's very important. You gotta pet the dog. He chose not to pet the dog, so let's see how that works out for him. All right, so yeah, we got looks like Possum Orpheus heading up to World of Ruin Zozo, which we know has an Esper. So this will be his unlock and one of the dragons he needs. But we got Jexrock heading into the tower already. I don't think he has the shortcut, so I missed how he set up his party.
He's put a lot of people in the right-hand side, so Route 3, that's probably to just help get through the ambush spot and possibly do some other stuff, but I'm not sure which of his characters are like the really powerful ones.
So what he could be doing, and it's something that I see quite often, is if you load your entire party on the right, you can go through, you can take out the Inferno spot. Eventually you'll have that party go to the middle, and you can take out Guardian and the statue spot as well. It's a good way to go about it if you're not too sure of your party's power and you want to get some extra levels stacked on before you go ahead and split them into 2 parties for the wings. It does mean you have to run through the tower twice, though, but it's the safe option.
Yeah, additionally, we do know that the statues at the end of the tower are shuffled, so Poltergeist, Doom, and Goddess are up there standing in the way between our runners and Final Kefka. They aren't elsewhere in the world like you normally see in Ultra Sleek Seeds, where they are mixed into the general boss bowl. So in this case, they are going to have to go through the statues themselves at their usual spots. They're going to be level 50 statues, most likely, or close to. They're going to be have their max abilities, so you're going to see some really nasty stuff coming off of them. So sort of stacking that party to go just push through the center does kind of make sense.
Yeah, I was going to say, word on the street is with max scaling of abilities, it can get really, really, really nasty really fast on these statues. You can get Goners. Oh, you know what? I thought this was supposed to be an Esper. I misunderstood. So Possum Orpheus does not get his unlock. He is continuing to be tempted and taunted and teased, and it's all because he didn't pet the dog.
Bubbaski does have his Final Kefka unlocked, so we should probably see him head for the tower shortly. And that is Phoenix for Saberwolf, which I think is his unlock. Or no, he still has 3 dragons. Or did he get the? I'm not sure what so he's on 2 dragons. He could, in theory, just go take out the 2 tower dragons, and then have unlock while still being in the tower. So that option is open to him. So right now, Possum does need to go and find that last Esper.
Yeah, it's definitely evading him. And I did want to go back real quick just to go back over the scaling. You had mentioned, they're all going to be level 50 because the 3x level modifier per boss. And it's another reason, along with having these statues shuffled, the reason why Jexbrock is going ahead and doing the everybody up the middle strategy. That just guarantees that he's going to have max power for 2 bosses in one of the statues, and he doesn't have to do single characters versus the other 2 statues he knows are coming. So this is definitely, I like this particular strategy when you know you have to deal with statues.
Okay, so what I think Possum is doing is fighting some regular enemies to get money to buy the Tizen Thief Esper.
It does look like it, and he actually hasn't even checked. I don't know if he checked it. I might have missed it, but he didn't check the auction house either. So there could be one there if he didn't check it.
Yeah. So Saberwolf is doing Opera House Dragon. Don't know if he's going to do a Tower Dragon for the 4th one, but that is again an option. In fact, you can route that in pretty easily if you stack your party into path 3, because one of the dragons is on that same path that the ambush spot is on.
That is true. We have a community favorite boss here, Magimaster, very well known for ruining many runs. He has some weaknesses, but overall he can be kind of a disaster. We do have dice though, so perhaps we can get through it pretty easily that way. We don't have Berserk, it looks like, though Berserk makes him completely useless if you can use it right away. Or actually, we do have Berserk. He's just attacking on Jexbrock's side. It's just a matter of how long does it take to kill him.
And Bubba is also at Magimaster. Is this the ambush spot?
I believe it is the ambush spot, yes.
Okay, that's one heck of an ambush.
Yeah, so it looks like they both made the right choice by throwing their whole party in. And Possumorpheus went to go find some better grind fights for more money. I'm not sure exactly where he went, but he is looking for some better paydays to get that Esper. He's getting about 15,000 GP off of that, so he is maybe one fight away from being able to get it. Or no, I think he must already have it.
I mean, if he sells like 22 items of any variety or any kind, then that would be enough to be able to buy even the World of Balance one.
That's true, yeah. I mean, he already has 41,000, so if he's in the World of Ruin one, he could just buy it, sell a couple items if he has to, but he's pretty much almost there.
Although it looks like you could just be checking out Mount Colts and seeing if this is the Esper.
Looks like that's what he's gambling on here, and then if it's not, I'm sure he'll go buy that Esper in World of Ruin as a last-ditch effort.
Yeah, so Bubbaski taking out another dragon.
Bubbaski taking the lead as well as he rolls in, took care of Magimaster faster with those dice, and also being able to use Ultima. I apologize. I had screen bleed there. It was actually Jexbrock using Ultima, but still being able to make short work of the dragon there.
Now, if we do have a bonus, the plus 20 magic for getting 6 dragons. So if Bubba takes out both of the tower dragons, that's an extra 20 magic for his party going into the final fights, the statues in Final Kefka.
That could very well be an option. The dragons are pretty much right there next to each other if you cross paths, if you already had 4 when you went in.
He went to World of Balance, Mount Colts, for some reason.
I think he's going for skip. So it looks like he went ahead and took out Magimaster and did all that, and now he's looking to fight some more bosses to get that skip. That's okay. My guess. Which is an interesting choice. I think Jex is just going to go ahead and fly up the middle and take out the 2 bosses and make sure he doesn't have to worry about the statue up the middle. So if this pays off for Jex, he definitely has the lead back. He's not going for the shortcut. He's going to do the double run, which is a strategy that became very popular during the Warring Triads event before the Ultros League 6 season.
It looks like Possum might also be going for a boss skip because He doesn't have to do this Doma Castle fight, I don't think.
You're right, he probably is. I think he's just like, you know what, I'll get my Esper while I'm getting my skip. Let's go.
Well, it looks like he
And-
might have gotten the Esper from Colts.
Yeah, it does look like he did. So he must be going for it, which we know that means he doesn't have to worry about Magimaster, which is pretty huge because Jex did lose a pretty good chunk of time trying to take him out while berserked.
Yeah, and Saberwolf, it does look like Saberwolf is probably going to try and take out one of the dragons out here, but I'm not sure which one. Did he possibly... Yeah, so he is going to be hitting the ambush. He's going to find that Magimaster here, unless he already cleared it and we missed it.
Oh, he's doing a straight run of the tower. So he's actually just doing 2 here, and we better hope that one of these characters has Berserk. I know Berserk was on an Esper, but do either of these know it? If so, this is kind of a joke. If not, this is kind of a disaster. Oh, there it is.
It's right there.
There it is. Come
It's
on,
right there.
buddy. All right. Yeah, so he's completely worthless now. So basically, if you berserk him before you let him put on his damage shield, he will no longer put on damage shields. So you can just hit him with whatever spells you got, whatever elements you got. The only thing that he still keeps is his very, very, very high physical defense and his very, very, very high physical evasion, which
Okay.
can be negated with an offering.
Yeah, so Blue has confirmed in the chat that Possum does have skip.
All right, so that means he's going to be the one sort of taking the lead here at the end. So we got a really close race here. Everybody deviated all over the place. Possum Morpheus had to go hunt the entire planet for his last Esper. And yet, in the nth hour, he shows up on the switches at about the exact same time as Jex.
Yeah, skip can be very useful when it pays off for you.
Absolutely. Now, the one thing that we do know is that the statues are shuffled, so that means Possum Morpheus taking the shortcut is going to have to take these bosses one-on-one.
Yep, so we got
let's see
Spicy
how that
Chicken to
goes.
start. He has 10 characters, so he can field some pretty decent parties, it seems.
He can, but also we mentioned something about ability scaling, and that was just an Ultima directly into Shadow's mouth, and away
Yeah, that
he
was
goes.
a counterattack Ultima, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a counterattack Ultima, and Shadow, I think, only hit once. He got like one very weak hit, and then got Ultima'd, so it felt a little excessive on Poltergeist's part.
Gal survived that flare barely.
Oh, there's that fallen one. Ooh, yeah, this ability scaling is pretty disgusting. And the amount of countering that Poltergeist is doing is really, really rude. But that was a desperation attack right there. I don't know if anyone can absorb this. This might be over if we don't have a way to negate that. Oh, man.
Just dodge it. Just dodge it. That's
Oh,
all you
man.
have to do.
Oh, no.
Come on, dodge the Meteo.
Come on, just miss. Just miss. Oh, my goodness.
Dodge the Wombat.
Oh, dodge the wombat. Oh, no. Oh, it's
That-
because he didn't pet the dog.
Yeah, so it's just a matter of like Possum does need to, find a solution for that. I'm fairly certain he's still is going to have skip. It's just a matter of possibly reorganizing the party to be able to actually take that fight. Meanwhile, Jex is at Doom, which is in the center spot. So I believe this is a case of just Doom and Poltergeist swapping. So Goddess should be in Spindle's spot.
Definitely. And I do just have to say, it is that there is a certain amount of irony that Possum Morpheus was taken out by a small rodent-like creature. It has to be said.
Yeah, I know. It's kind of like just, we can dodge the meteors, but not the lower rat.
Not the little wombat. Oh, he's resetting again.
Yeah,
I wonder
probably
if he made a mistake.
Yeah, possibly. Meanwhile, Bubblesky did get through his poltergeist.
And in Possum Morpheus' defense, that poltergeist was extremely aggressive, with Ultima, Fallen One, Flare, and then at the end a Meteo and a Wombat just back to back. So
I mean, we call it spicy chicken for a reason.
devastating.
Okay, so I think Jex has punched a hole through the center aisle, and it is going to face Goddess with 2 people.
Oh, he must have had to skip after fighting the bosses there? Did he jump back and skip?
I'm not sure if he did that or if he just says, I'm going to go ahead and take it.
Well, he had all 4 up the middle, so I wonder, did he warp out and come back in? I might have missed that while I was
I
looking at
would have missed it too. Bubsky is taking on the Guardian spot, which I believe is just, 128.
Inferno Light. Generally not much of an issue, but we do have weird scaling right now when it comes to their abilities, so some weird things might show up now and again, but I don't think he has anything too terribly.
And Saberwolf is also in that fight. They, it's like they were all sort of all over the place and different people were behind at different times, but they're all about pulling even now.
Yeah, all 3 of them fighting number 128 at the same time here, except for Jex. I think Jex is a bit ahead at this point, so... Oh, now he's warping out. Okay.
So he managed to take out that Goddess with just Strago and Umaro then. That would mean he only has to get through Spicy Chicken, right?
I believe so. Yeah, he must have had enough characters to just take care of it. Interesting strategy. I didn't expect that at all. So he's going to do all 4 on the left with the shortcut.
Yeah, that's very interesting. And
I'm not sure I've ever seen that before, so I love the bit of a clinic we're seeing from Jex here on managing these shuffled statues, especially with Berserk. So I love to see it.
Yeah, Possum is in the Goddess fight as well. Saberwolf and Bubsky just finished off their Guardian spot. And Seed Validation chest was just an X potion.
That's not too bad of an item to find. It can definitely come in handy during Kefka. Ooh, we getting quaked over in Saberwolf's side. That's always a bit rude.
Quasar coming out.
Now, Doom is kind of the pushover statue most of the time. What he can generally do is waste your time by North Crossing you, and you just get to sit there and stare at the screen while your characters do nothing. But generally, you just want to push him into the second phase, so all he really wants to do is block some elements and then target people and Demon Rage them.
Yeah, Jex did in fact take on that last statue with just 2 saved right up before triggering this Poltergeist spot fight.
That is a really cool strategy. I want to ask him about that once we're through here.
Possum is through his Goddess fight, and we've got dueling Doom fights.
Now the question is he going to get his revenge on that chicken? Oh, we got a Goner over on Jex Brock's side. Again, he's just being very, very aggressive today. He does not want to give it up to these players at all.
Is Jex and Possum the only 2 that have actually fought the Poltergeist so far? Like, I don't know if I've seen Bubba or Saberwolf take that fight yet.
I think Bubba and Saber have taken Goddess and are working on Doom, but have not taken Poltergeist just yet. So we're going to get a rematch of Spicy Chicken on Possum Morpheus' side. So that puts Jex and Possum very close to each other. But I think Jex is about to kill Spicy Chicken here with those killer dice rolls from Strago. Good lord. I wish I could ever have that happen to me.
Yeah, and it looks like the Possum reordered his groups so that he would have a much more robust party going into this. That was a counterattack quake, it looks like.
Straight into a Grand Train. What a very rude Spicy Chicken this is turning out to be. But the VK, that's actually very handy. He put Strago in there, so no matter how much AoE damage he throws out, it's just going to make Strago more angry.
Saberwolf is through the Doom fight, and Bubsky should be fairly close to being done.
Strago, the stabby old man, is very much working through Poltergeist right now, so he should be... Probably this next round of Strago attacks after this Quake should take him out. And if not, be very close to it.
Okay.
He's got to be gone.
And Saberwolf is going to have his Spicy Chicken fight with Gao and Edgar.
And we have Jex first on the switches at 127.15. We can go ahead and do some guesses. When do we think Jexfrock will finish Kefka? He's got some pretty good offense, but he is berserked, so it's a bit of a wild card on how long this will take.
Possum is now through that Poltergeist fight as well, so got revenge. I don't know, has Possum done Doom yet? I saw Possum do Goddess, and I'm pretty sure Possum has done the 128. I don't know if he's done Doom.
I am fairly certain he has done Doom as well. I was also checking Saberwolf and Bubba, so we're going to see very soon, but I think he's ready to go. Oh, no, guess not. Realm is having to run up the middle, so off to Doom.
Okay, yeah, but Possum did get through that really nasty Poltergeist fight, is already through Goddess, so it's just this between him and Switches now.
Yeah, we have Possmorpheus, Bubba, and Saber on their last statues, but Possmorpheus is...
no. Saber got stopped, and that would have been gone in right into a blaster, which would have been an instant kill on that Gao. So he just saw it and reset.
That the stop blaster is the signature move of the Spicy Chicken, and the second he stops you, his next attack will immediately instant kill. Possmorpheus is through his Doom fight, so we'll be heading on to Kefka himself here shortly. Jexfrock having a little bit of issue with getting that the long arm doomed, but he doesn't seem to mind too much. Edgar did slap it with some Illuminas. Tier 1 here has 3 parts for those who may not be familiar with these last bosses. Tier 1, 3 parts. It's got the long arm close to the camera. It can be instant death. It's got the face. It's weak to fire. And it's got the short arm balled up that likes to punch things a lot and will counterattack you a lot. The general goal is to instant kill the long arm closest to the screen, kill the head, and then kill short arm. You do not want to kill head last because he will counter with Quake. Jex has no issues and moves on to tier 2.
Yeah, it looks like Saberwolf did not save after the Goddess fight.
Oh no, that is a disaster. He has to go through all that again, huh?
Yeah, and Bubsky is having a bit of a rough time with that Goddess fight as well.
Oh man, we've all been through that before where we're just in a hurry in a race and we think we saved and we just didn't, and it can just get you sometimes. You hate to see it. Possmorpheus on the switches at 130.03. Do you have any notes about this tier 2 that Jex is working on?
The tiger is really annoying because he turns your guys into zombies, so you want to get him on the ice really quickly. The guy in the middle is basically a machine, and you can doom him to make him go away. The guy on the right side just hits you a lot, especially after you've defeated him. He'll get his vengeance in the form of 10 hits. And then the person on the far left just does a lot of magic. And if you have mute or siren, that problem goes away really quickly.
Absolutely. The main issues there is definitely magic if you can't mute him, and the tiger face on the bottom right. Tiger face can north cross you and freeze you and just let you sit there and watch as your party is killed off one by one. But also he can go ahead and just doom tusk you, which will turn you into a zombie, and next thing you know, your own character is killing your whole party. So
Yeah, getting Doom Tusk on your fixed dice offering character has been a fun way to get a reset on this fight, I've noticed.
as mentioned in chat, we have Strago with Octo, VK, Berserked, which is fantastic. Very,
Very
very dangerous.
very smart move by Possum to float because there's no guarantee who's going down first, and if you do this in the wrong order, that you can get Quake as a counter attack, as a not a counter attack, but as a revenge attack at the end.
Definitely. If head dies last, you get quaked. So float negates that entirely. What I'd worry about is a critical hit from short arm here. It could potentially kill Strago in one hit. But it might not counter at all. Let's see if he's lucky. Okay, it was not a crit, so he is able to get through. That was definitely a little sketchy. I think a crit had a chance of killing Strago, which would have drastically slowed down the rest of this climb.
Yeah, Bubbaski looks like lost the fight against Goddess after all and is back in it again.
If things go in Possumorpheus' favor here, that Octo VK can be the catalyst to victory here. He'll be able to chew through Tier 2 quite fast. But it is a very risky strat. We'll see how it pays off for him. Jexfrox, however, also got through Tier 2 quite fast, moving on to Tier 3, where there are only 2 targets. You got the Lady in the upper left, and you have Sleep in the bottom right. Lady will absorb all elemental spells, and she needs to be killed first. She has 9,999 life. If you don't kill her first, she will revive Sleep, who has 40,000 life. So you kill her first with non-elemental or physical attacks. Sleep is generally pretty mild until you get him to about 29,000 damage, whereupon he will start countering with Train and Meteo, which can spiral out of control really, really fast. So the general goal is get him as close to 29,000 damage as possible, put up your Calmness protection, kill him in one hit, and you don't have to worry about it. And when he dies, he will cast Calmness, which can choose 1 or 2 characters, and it will instant kill them if it hits. Since he is the last one to die, if they are killed by Calmness, they don't get to go fight Final Kefka.
And Saberwolf did save after the Goddess fight this time, so just has to get through that spicy chicken. And like versus still Bubba is having some trouble getting through the Goddess.
Yeah, she is proving to be quite difficult the second time around.
As you were talking about how Possum would have a fairly easy time with Tier 2, he's already on Tier 3.
He is, but there's a disastrous thing that occurred, and Strago is dead. So we do not get our Octo VK for the rest of this climb, so his main speed is done for. And Jexfrock has also made extremely short work of Tier 3 and is moving on to Final Kefka.
Bubbaski has lost the Goddess fight again. It looks like might have to just like warp out of the tower and reform to take that fight.
It is possible. Sometimes that's just a thing you have to do, and it just does not feel good. But he might just do, yeah, he's going to do it. He's going to go ahead and warp out, put everybody over on Goddess's side, and just finish it up from there. So Jex going for Final Kefka here. He's generally the most tame. He can cause a lot of issues, but in general, if you have the right strategy on him, you just do more than 30,000 damage before he gets a turn, and he will not do Fallen One, which will bring you to 1 HP. Do a little more damage, he'll go into his Goner phase. You just kill him there if you have the damage. Unfortunately, we're going to have to miss that fight, I think, as Jex has a commercial break in progress at the worst possible moment. Apologies for that, viewers. You don't get much worse than that at the very end. Jex's grand victory is going to be taken over by Twitch. Oh, wait. Is he done? Yeah, okay. We caught it at the very end. Jex has finished. So let's get our GGs in chat for Jexfrock, finishing at about 1:35:47. GG's to the curator himself, taking it home.
And meanwhile, Possum has started his final Kefka fight. And Saberwolf did get through that Poltergeist, so will be starting his final Kefka run very shortly. Looks like Bubbaski is just taking some grind fights to get a bit more power.
He could be. He might have also forgotten to put back on that Moogle charm. And just went ahead and took it while he was there. We might also be getting Jexfrock in here for a quick interview. We'll see if he's going to be coming on in here. Looks like Postmorpheus is wrapping this up. There's not going to be a whole lot left after this Goner coming through. All right, and that is a GG for Possumorpheus. 137-18. GG's in chat for second place, Possumorpheus. Coming through the adversity of that disgusting spicy chicken and coming in clutch.
Yeah, so right now our official times are Jex at 135.33, Possum at 137.08. Saberwolf is just starting, and it looks like Bubba's still trying to get some additional power onto his team to get through that goddess fight.
Yeah, he's going to go ahead and take that dragon as well. Make sure he's as powerful as possible when he encounters her. And I think with a full team, he should have no issues at all taking care of her. And Saberwolf is on his way to Kefka as well. It looks like we are joined by the victor tonight, the curator himself, the Mad Lab Doc, Jexfrock. Congratulations on your win today. How you feeling?
Oh, just peachy. GG's.
Just peachy, just peachy. I got one question now. Not really a question, but I just was curious what your thought process was on this one, and that's your statues strategy was very interesting in that it seemed like you had your whole party up the middle, but you did have a little auxiliary group that was able to take out Goddess. What was your thought process on that?
So the auxiliary group on the side, the idea was because I did not have calmness protection, I wanted to get Gao leveled up with a +2 magic esper pretty hard. That way I could have a backup character for in case, you know, somebody gets whacked by calmness and have backup healing. That was the thought process behind that. And the fact that it just happened to be Goddess worked out really nicely. And it also gave me skip.
Yeah, I absolutely love that. It seemed like perfectly executed in that way. And, you know, typically you see when statues are shuffled like that, you do that, everybody up the middle, take out Guardian, take out the statue, then do 2 on either side. But I have never actually seen somebody do just an extra 2 on one side to take out 2 at once. So I did absolutely appreciate that tactic, and I intend to use that someday.
Yeah, it was a happy accident. I mean, like, if I had, say, Poltergeist on the Strago side of things, and, you know, I take a wipe, I would have just changed my strats. I would have reset, warped out, and then reconfigured the party to better handle the issue. So I would have at least given Poltergeist at least one try to see if I could take him down, if that was the case.
Absolutely, that Poltergeist was disgusting. I'll be talking to Possumorpheus about that one, but he was very, very rude for most of the runners today.
I was not expecting to run into Magi Master where he was. That one had me worried for a hot second.
He can be pretty disastrous with Berserk, or so not with you being auto Berserked. Can be pretty bad, and he did take a lot of your time. So you were quite far ahead until Magimaster, and then some of our runners did start catching up on you with how slow that went. So at least you were able to get through it.
Yeah, like thankfully I learned Ultima. That made my life significantly easier with that. I just had to burn a ether and elixir, and I was good to go for that fight. And slots.
Whatever it takes when it comes to Magimaster. As long as you can win, a win is a win.
Exactly. I also miscounted my boss. I misread my boss count. When I went up, when I was doing my preset, because I took that extra Doma fight, I thought that would have put me at the required amount by shooting up the center path to having the 14 bosses to get KT skip. I messed that up.
So you had to take out the goddess on that side in order to get the skip, at least easily.
Well, yeah. Otherwise, well, I guess I could have backtracked and who is it? Toilet Atma.
Yeah, that's true. You could have gone for that. So there were some options, but definitely the way that you played it worked out in your favor.
Yes, a little bit of dumb luck today.
Sometimes that's all it takes. Joker Mage, you got any questions for Jexrock here?
Yeah, how did you feel about the hard required math test at Moogle Defense?
Moogle Defense.
That was where you got Edgar from, and basically, from our point of view, Edgar was going to be either character 4 or character 5 or character 6.
Oh, Finding Doomgaze. Yeah, he was my... Edgar was my 5th character. Finding Doomgaze there, I'm like, uh-oh. I was slightly concerned because I did not do a level check before I went in there, and after the level 5 Doom went off, I'm like, and nobody got smoked. I'm just like, all right, let's do that. Let's take down the Doomgaze.
Yeah, it basically was. I think like the other options were Setzer and Strago for the character number 4, and I believe all of their checks ended up being just dead or espers.
So was the Seed Edgar required?
It was.
Ooh, yeah, that's harsh.
Yeah, some of our runners did last check some of those checks, so or just Narsh in general. So it was pretty harsh gating in this seed.
I was nearly last location on that one. It was that the countdown was definitely catching up to me on that.
You weren't the only one.
Because I still had RNG Cave left to go take a peek at, and Kefka at Narsh. I had those two.
Yeah, that's Kefka Narsh was the Setzer, and Esper Cave was the Strago, and again they didn't have anything hidden behind them, so it was everything was past that Moogle Defense and that Doomgaze.
Cool. So
All of our runners did.
Did anybody else do Berserker strats?
Yes. The only one who did Berserker strats would be number 2, Possum Morpheus. I would expect no less. So you two went Berserk all in from the start. I don't think Possum Morpheus used even a single piece, anything to stop the Berserk either. I think he went all Berserk all the time.
Oh, very nice. That is not exactly the easiest thing in the world to pull off.
Yeah, all Berserk all the time, and an Octo VK Strago. So it was a show at the end there. He was really trying. He was nipping at your heels. We were eagerly watching to see how it would turn out, but you did take it in the end.
Yeah, the getting the fixed dice offering rolling really set the tone for getting the C done, and finding that second Illumina at the top of Fanatic's Tower. I'm just like, wait a second, what's going on here? Another Illumina? All right, let's do it. I thought I had a. I thought when I designed this. Oh no, when I designed it, we would not find Illuminas in shops or chests. I believe that's how I had it set up.
And did you do the World of Ruin dragon? World of Ruin Narsh dragon, I mean?
Yes. Yes,
Yeah,
I smacked that guy around. That
Yeah,
gave
'cause
me my first offering.
Yeah, that's the offering I saw. I'm not sure where the other ones were.
Another dragon. I think it was trying to think.
Edgar's
Ancient
Throne had an
Castle.
offering.
I think it was Ancient Castle Dragon.
The Figure of Throne was an offering?
Oh, that's also possible.
Funny enough, despite everybody doing that check, I don't think Joker or myself happened to catch it when you guys looted it. So we missed that one over and over.
I think it was one of those two. So, same general vicinity.
Absolutely. Well, I got no more questions for Jex. You got any more questions for Jex?
Oh, good job, GG. Sort of proved that you were the guy who made this flag set.
Yeah, this is only the second time I've ran it, and both times I've somehow came in first.
Well, the doctor showed how good he is at his profession here today, so congratulations on that first place victory.
Yep. Also, if you don't mind if I plug in some final thoughts here.
Absolutely not. Go ahead.
Anybody here in the chat that is interested in learning Final Fantasy VI Worlds Collide, this wonderful randomizer, please come join us in our Discord. You can find a link at ff6worldscollide.com. We have a Moogle mentoring program, so you where we will pair you up with a experienced FF6 Worlds Collide player to learn the different strats, the routing, and all that fun stuff. Also, please give our Restream team and our runners a follow. GG's, and thanks for tuning in.
GG's, Jex. Couldn't have said it better myself. Now, that was perfect timing before we get to our interview with Possum Morpheus. First of all, Jexrock, thank you very much for curating this awesome seed. Thank you for the amazing skills put on display, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your weekend. Also, Saber Wolf has finished Kefka at 1:48:39. GG's to him in chat, everybody. Hard fought. And well done. Possum Morpheus, you're up. Listen, I'm just going to get it out of the way. Why you no pet dog, dude?
Because possums are basically advanced cats, and therefore cats are better than dogs. And dogs get enough love from everyone else, so I'm going to stay true to my kind. Go cats, go possums. Down with the dogs.
Ooh, fighting words. So I got to ask you, how did it feel to get killed by your rodent brethren and Spicy Chicken?
I got whomped and wombated like 4 different times since that seed. It was great. But that's also what's going to happen when you do, like, what did I do? 27 checks or something? Your scaling is going to be out of control, and enemy abilities are also going to be out of control.
Absolutely. And you're really not working on making a lot of friends right now with the whole dog thing, you know?
Yeah, that's fine.
He's not here to make friends.
No, he's here to win.
No, I'm here to put on a show, and that's what I was trying to do tonight, and I hope I did.
You absolutely did. I mean, anyone who's going to have a berserked stabby old man throwing 8 slashes every time, straight up berserked with, you know, just not stopping the berserk at all is a fantastic show. I will give you that much. I will say I was extremely terrified to see you do the Kefgut Narsh and then immediately into Moogle Defense, because you had checked Kefgut Narsh, you opened your menu, and you were 33. And then you went straight down into Moogle Defense, and I was thinking you were just going to instantly be killed. But thankfully, you either leveled a little bit too little or too much, and you barely skipped it. So how were you feeling when you ran into that Doom Gaze unexpectedly?
I had saved before Kefka Narsh, I believe, so I would have just had to redo that. It's a quick walk down, no big deal. The amount of power that I had was pretty ludicrous. I did the meme thing of stop and do the the Opera House right away, and then it was like, well, we'll go do and peak, one or two other things, and then go to the Coliseum, and then it turned out snow mufflers were eggs, and it was like, oh, okay, so we're doing this. So the whole thing just kind of went from there. I really wanted to do every single point of damage to Final Kefka, all 4 tiers with just Strego. And then tier 2 decided to hit him 5 of the first 7 of the 10 hits. And I was like, really? Because that's kind of rude. And I might have sniped Jex if not for that happening. Because I think at that point, Strego was going to one-shot tier 3 and tier 4. Because he was doing about 8,500 a swing. 8 swings, that's like 70k damage. So it would have been really close. I'm a little disappointed that my final meme did not pay out.
That's okay. Sometimes just the attempt was amazing to watch, and we really did think you were going to take it. But hit's going to hit, man. He took you out in the end.
Yeah, 2,200 health, took 5 hits for 600. Well, it happens.
Yes, it absolutely does. I was curious. So, was there a reason why you chose not to do Doma Dream? I'm suspecting it's because you only needed 2 Espers.
I have no idea how to play any flag set that's not Ultros League. So, like, when I saw, oh, you need 14 bosses for the skip, I was like, okay, well, I can get those without having to do all of Doma Dream. I already know there's an Esper at Zen. And then I was like, wait a minute, but Zen doesn't give a boss. How do I get to 14 bosses? But what I wasn't thinking of was like, hey, dummy, you can combine the two. Quite frankly, I played this flag set one time, not knowing what I was doing, because Glue had sent it over like, hey, test this. I was like, okay. I don't know. I have no idea. I just play Ultros League. So this is the second time I've played a flag set. Still have no idea what I'm doing, but it was super fun. Lots of power. And, for not having any idea or any clue what I'm doing to come 90 seconds behind the guy that made it, hey, we'll take that. That's a W in this book.
Absolutely, I agree with that one. Joker Mage, what you got for Possum here?
You stole my question about Doma Dream, so I'm pretty much tapped out here.
Oh, okay. I got a couple more that I can throw out there. So we saw you do a bunch of grind fights outside of Zen. I'm assuming you were really desperately trying to get enough money to buy that Esper. Is that accurate?
Yep. Yeah, that's exactly what it was. And then the skip thing came into mind, and I was like, well, that was dumb. So then I just took them on the way up Mount Colts, and I was like, I'll do Colts and I'll do Doma Defense. And if I don't get an Esper, then I'll go buy it from Zen. And then I didn't need to buy it, and it was like, well, okay, that was a waste.
Yeah, because you were grinding it, then you went over to Colts and then did some more grinds, and I was like, wait, what is happening? Oh, I guess he's doing Colts now. So okay.
Your what is happening was my what is happening. What am I doing? So
got it. I'm going to interrupt real fast just to throw our final GGs to Bubba Ski, finishing up at 154 and 13. Absolutely clawing his way through at the end there and taking it home. Let's get our GGs in chat. And man, I don't think there's much else for me to say here, Possum, but I do just have to say, thank you so much for putting on the memes there, man. I did appreciate. Everybody's gonna appreciate a full Berserked VK, Octo VK user. It didn't work out in the end, but that's okay. It was no less entertaining to us. So we definitely appreciated the show that you put on today, despite being inexperienced with the flag set. So just big GGs all around for you, man.
Yeah, thank you. I hope everyone enjoyed Gao deciding that various Magitechs are more important than Illumina swings as well. So yeah, y'all have a wonderful rest of the night. Thank you, Glue, Joker Mage, and Physics for all the behind-the-scenes stuff. Thanks, Jex, for the flag set. GG's to you as well. And GG's to Saberwolf and Bubba. Thanks, RPG Limit Break, as always, for having various communities on. Y'all are amazing. Catch y'all next time.
Take it easy, Possum. Thanks again, buddy. All right, Joker, I have completely dominated the mic on these interviews. I'm going to leave it up to you. You're up.
Well, let's bring in our third finisher, Saberwolf. How you doing there? Good. How did you enjoy that?
It was okay. I'm not crazy on the barter seed flag set stuff. I'm not really practiced on those kind of sets, but I kind of got the feel of it. Like I know you had to buy 10 silver sleeping bags and found earrings and found the stone bufflers, which everybody could use, which was nice. Getting 2 Illuminas and not having anybody use it for about 80% of the run wasn't that great, though. Till the end. I'm just trying to figure out 8, 9, 10 characters. How the heck did they do that? Because for me, it was a linear run.
Yeah,
Like,
so
I have no idea how they got that many characters.
it was a hard required Moogle defense, and I think unfortunately you last location that.
Which is probably a good thing in the end, I guess.
Well, yeah, so Moogle defense and the math test there led to Edgar, and Sabin and Cyan were both at Edgar's checks.
Oh, interesting. So it was probably a good thing that I did all the other checks before I went back from Moogle then. Because I think maybe one was dead, but I think all of them were character Esper for me. So
Yeah,
I think I actually made pretty good there.
Yeah, you had quite a few Espers by the time you got that Edgar, I think. And the other aspect of that barter seed was that made getting the Tzen Thief Esper a lot harder. As you might have overheard us talking with Possum, and he was doing some grind fights to try and raise the money for that, because you can't just sell some high value item to get to that like 62,000 or 42,000.
Yeah, I wasn't even interested in getting that because it was so high. I'm like, I don't need it because I already had like 6, 7 Espers at the time. I knew I had to get a couple of get progression towards bosses, maybe for a skip or something, depending if I got a couple of like dead checks and like that worked in. And actually, the bosses worked out. I didn't mean to go up to. I went up to Narsh World of Ruin. They got the dragon up there, and I'm like, I'll just do this check. Hope it's an Esper. It's an Esper. Cool. I got my 9 Espers. Yeah, luckily for me, I needed that because that spicy chicken was horrible.
Yeah, I was going to say that seemed like the big speed bump you ran into during the final section of this particular seed. Was you had managed to get through. I think you managed to get through the center one, and you got through that goddess fairly easily, and then you hit the spicy chicken, and it looked like you hadn't saved after the goddess fight.
No, I did. I saved it, everything is fine. What I did was I after the fight, I was like, wait a minute, I got 14 bosses. I have a whoopstone. I can back out and do this. So no, I saved fine. Everything was fine there. What was the problem is that I had to reset because I took the fixed dice off of Setzer to see if Edgar could use them, and he couldn't. I forgot to re-equip it. That's what happened.
Okay. Yeah, because it did seem like there was a reset somewhere, and that you had to do the goddess fight again. But you only did it once.
No, I did it once.
Okay.
Nope.
And apart from the spicy chicken, the rest of it seemed like everything else went pretty smoothly, though.
Yeah, I mean, I did all the free checks, and free checks doesn't increase scaling, and it just baffled me. I'm just like, holy crap, 2K kills a boss at this stage? I'm like, okay, this is easy. I mean, all the boss fights was easy until basically Spicy Chicken. I did freak out a little bit on Magimaster at the end, but I was like, oh god, thank god I have Berserk.
Yeah, we were watching that when you did that, and we saw you like go past it, and we're like, no, go back up.
Well, I always Break and Berserk. When you go through your list quickly, they both come up like almost side by side in my brain, and it screws me up every time when I get one or the other, and it's the other one I needed. So it takes me a minute to find it. And also, I need to throw the controller out the window. This thing is. I need to replace this like right now. I do have a spare. I need to replace it, but yeah, my D-pad was not helping me tonight.
Yeah, and I think one of the other things I noted is that you immediately did Opera House, and there were a few who did it quickly, but you didn't even bother looting out Narsh or South Figaro or Returners. You just went straight for Opera House.
Well, yeah, I just do straight Opera House to get the eliminate, just get it done and over with, because it gives you a weapon to see, okay, if I get this really cool weapon, who can I use it? And literally nobody could use it, technically, until I got Edgar at the end. But, well, it was a stat stack for Gao. But I like to, I mostly because I got coming up later on, I got a Super NES Marathon next week, and I already said I was going to do the Morias sword thing, so I just did that real quick, just more of a practice for me for it. to see how long it takes, and God, it takes 4.5 minutes. It's rough. It gives you the best weapon in the entire game, but it's rough to wait that long.
And I think apart from that, it just seemed like a fairly solid run.
Yeah.
And again, it just was, you had to get Edgar eventually to be able to get to finish it off, and that's how I think that even with that, because you were fighting espers and you were fighting dragons along the way, pretty much everyone was sort of in the general area of statues around the same time.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I think the spicy chicken just put a roadblock in me for a little bit. I had to reset a couple times, get around it. But just warpstoning out to restack my team, using the skip to get through spicy chicken. I think that was like the best play I made for this whole run. That was a good call on my part. Just pat my back. But yeah, I mean, I'm glad that we were kind of close at the end. So that's good.
Yeah, Physics, you got any questions?
No, I got nothing here. I think you pretty much covered it all. I just wanted to, say Saberwolf, very well done. I know it's a very weird flag set with some janky scaling, so I think you did very well, and it was awesome to see how everybody handled it, and then just seeing it all collide all at the end. Everybody in the tower at the same time, despite the varying ways. So yeah, just GG's, man. Well played.
The only two things I'll add on is that I'm like, after I got into Kefka's tower, I'm like, wow, I haven't seen any boss statues. And I remember looking back at the flag set right before the round, I'm like, oh, wait a minute, they're shuffled. The boss, it's like, it's triads all over again. I'm like, God dang it. And then also, by the way, this is the first run that Realm was completely useless. I've never had a run when I had Realm in it that she was useless in. And this was the only one. So I'm kind of baffled by that. But anyways, GG to all. Thanks for putting it on. Thanks, Glue Joker, Sidekicks, for jumping into the commentary. And yeah, shout out to Jexy for getting the win there.
Absolutely. GG Saber, thanks again for agreeing to hop on here and put on a show for us. And yeah, we hope you have a wonderful rest of your weekend.
Will do. I'm going to work and getting up in 5 hours for work, so yay.
Oof, good luck.
Right.
Thank you for your sacrifice.
Not a problem.
And our final runner for today, Bubsky, is also joined us. GG.
GG, everybody. That was an interesting flag set. I had not looked at this this flag set before doing this, so this was different.
Yeah, and I think the big thing we saw is that you hit a fairly huge stumbling block with that goddess fight.
Yeah, in hindsight, I should have just finished the tower with my main group I had running, but I couldn't have known which side goddess would have been on to start with. So it was one of those, just in hindsight, I could have done it differently.
Yeah.
But, man.
And it also seemed like I think you were the first person to do Moogle defense, so you were the first to sort of get through that barrier, because this was a hard required Edgar Doomgaze Moogle defense seed. Because the other two characters that were available from the start did not have extra characters behind them.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, actually just Strago, but he ended up being Baron.
Yeah,
So
there was Setzer
dead.
at Kefka and Narsh, but that was also just I think just Espers behind him.
Yeah, Behemoth Suit and 2 Espers, and that was it. So it was just all dead. Yeah, it was
I'm
all
glad I
gated behind
skipped
that.
on. Glad I very much skipped on Strago at the end there. I peeked him on that Realm Cave, and as soon as I was Strago, I'm like, I don't want that. I'm just gonna leave.
Yeah, unfortunately, the Edgar checks did lead to more characters, which opened up the seat a bit more and gave you some options for how to get the Espers. What was your plan when you did get your characters? Like, were you just going for any peekable Esper check?
I was going for peekable Esper checks and trying to balance in there whichever dragons I could get, because I remembered I needed to get the 4 dragons for the unlock. So I was really hoping to find anything that had a dragon with it first, and then work towards the peakable checks after.
Yeah, I mean the characters you got did open up the Ancient Castle Dragon and the Mount Zozo Dragon, so that was one advantage of that particular character set. And as far as beyond that, though, were you like tracking how many bosses you had to see if you could get skip?
I was vaguely tracking bosses, but not that closely. I was planning on not doing skip until I got to the end, and then I saw I had 13 bosses completed, so I figured I might as well just finish out 14th and skip the last little bit of the tower, which turns out I had to walk it again anyway, so no
And,
big deal though.
Did you encounter any did you have any real difficulty with the final Kefka fight?
Final Kefka was way easier than Goddess fight. I really felt like Final Kefka was a breeze by comparison.
And I don't know, what were your thoughts overall on the flag set?
I kept being very tempted to go to Coliseum just to get the Berserk, because I really wanted to see how that auto Berserk would go. But every time I thought about it, I'd be like, I'd get one more piece of a kit for somebody and be like, well, now I really don't want to go Berserk. But that extra 40 Vigor would have been tremendous for a couple of my characters.
Yeah, and you also didn't consider like peace rings or ribbons to try and negate that while still keeping the vigor.
I hadn't considered it until pretty late in the seed. At that point, I was pretty set. I was already in the tower. I was like, oh, I could just negate that Berserk if I really wanted to, but I don't really want to leave the tower, go get Berserk, come back.
Right. And did you consider going for 6 dragons for the magic power boost at all?
I didn't until the very end. I grabbed that 6th dragon on my last walk through the tower, just because I was already in there. And that little boost did come in handy during the final Kefka fight.
Okay. And Physics, do you have any questions?
Nothing in particular. I just want to say that it was, I know you had a really rough time with Goddess there, and it's never a fun time having to leave the tower and run all the way back. But I just want to say, I appreciate the perseverance. I know it's not great, but to see you push through it like that and take care of it anyway and get your revenge on Goddess, it felt good to watch, man. So
it felt great to go back and do it. Appreciate it.
Yeah, it can be extremely frustrating being in that situation, but I think you played it really well and did what you had to do and finished it up, man. So good job.
Yeah.
Any final thoughts?
I'm looking forward to doing more of the different flag sets now that I'm seeing more new ones pop up like this one. So I'm going to really look into doing those. I've been doing the Seeds of the Week now a lot more, just different flag sets away from the Ultros League standard sets, and I am really intrigued to see what comes from the off season here, because I'm seeing a lot of good things already.
Absolutely. Well, once again, congratulations on finishing that up, and thanks for agreeing to be on stream. We couldn't do this without people willing to run the Seeds live.
Hey, I appreciate being here. Thank you guys for letting me be in and joining in. Thanks everybody for the Restream team.
Absolutely,
heck of a job.
Appreciate it. Yeah, it's our pleasure. I know I have a really good time with it. I assume Joker Mage does as well. So couldn't do it without you though. So we do appreciate it, and well played today, and hope you have a good rest of your weekend.
I'll do my best. Same to you guys.
Thank you very much. All right, so before I pass it off to Drinks Glue to sign us off here, just as a reminder, if you watched this and really enjoyed what you saw and want to get into it, please visit us at ff6worldscollide.com, where you can hop in our Discord, check the wiki, figure out how to get this whole thing started up, and hopefully you come join us. We have a lot of things geared toward new players. We have a mentorship program. We have the Moogle Cup coming up you can sign up for. We have an unlimited amount of people who are just so willing to help. So we really hope to see you there. We also just have a couple quick new events that are coming up. If you are interested in some more Final Fantasy VI Worlds Collide action, Actually tonight, actually it's already started now, but it might still be going on later. I apologize. I've been commentating for the 2 hours. I was talking about this run. Sunday, June 16th at 6 a.m. there will be a run over on FF1R's Twitch channel for their summer marathon, and it will be repeating again on Sunday, June 16th at 5:45 p.m. at the FF1R official website for their marathon. That marathon is benefiting the Liam Foundation. It's an organization dedicated to encouraging, assisting, healing, and empowering the LGBTQIA+ community. So if you're interested in checking that out, please go visit their Twitch channel. Lastly, we do have the SNES Superstars Marathon on Speed Gaming happening on Thursday, June the 20th at 11:15 a.m. And that is going to be featuring Saberwolf Gaming, Honeydew, Turdsman, Shadow Sid, and again, this guy drinks glue will be there as well. So if you are interested in any of this, please come hang out. We would love to see you. With that, I just want to say thank you to the Restream team, thank you to the runners and everybody who made this possible, and Joker Mage, anything you'd like to say before we wrap this up?
Well, you mentioned Speed Gaming. We do actually do a weekly show on Wednesdays, 8 p.m. Eastern Time on one of the Speed Gaming channels. It changes based upon what their schedule is. So sometimes we're on Speed Gaming 2, sometimes we're on Speed Gaming 5. It changes. And if you do want to catch some more of this, you can catch us there. And if you want to know which channel it's going to be on, I'd suggest joining our Discord so that you can get those announcements.
Absolutely fantastic. Well, again, thank you everybody for joining us tonight. I'm going to go ahead and pass it on to Glue to sign us out.
Yeah, thank you guys. Yeah, y'all did a fantastic job. Before we head out, we'll sign off here shortly in about 30 seconds, but I want to give a special shout out to RBG Limit Break for letting me hang out with my friends tonight and play video games and showcase Final Fantasy VI. GG's to everybody involved, Possum, Bubba, Saberwolf, and then the biggest GG's of all to Jexrox. Coming up tomorrow, well actually tomorrow morning on RBG Limit Break, if you are unfamiliar with 4-Job Fiesta for Final Fantasy V, it's basically you get a randomized selection of jobs selected to you, and then once you acquire those jobs throughout the regular game, you can only use those jobs for the rest of the game. So we got that starting tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Eastern on RPG Limit Break. Check that out. With that, again, thank you to everybody for hosting us. Thank you everybody for putting this on together. Thank you for tuning in, and we wish you all good night.